Hi everybody, welcome to the third video in the series looking at indices. This video we're going to be looking at the fifth rule, so rule 5, which is negative indices. Now, with negative indices, the majority of the time you'll want to have your indexes as a positive value, so you want a positive number instead of having them as a negative. So if we've got x to the power of negative a and we want to turn that into a positive index, what we would do is we'd take it underneath a fraction, which makes it a positive. Now you're probably wondering where this one's come from. This one has come from the fact that there was actually one lot of x to the minus a there. Similarly, if we had 1 to the under x to the minus a, to change that up, we'd bring it up the top, and that would make it positive. So in changing it from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top, we can make it a positive and a negative. So we'll just look at a couple of examples. So we have x to the 4 negative, and we want to make that into an expression with a positive index. Well, we just bring it down under and it become x to the 4 underneath the fraction. If we had, say, 4x to the negative 6 and we want to express this as a positive index, the 4 is going to stay up on top and the x is going to go to the bottom and the 6 is made positive. So you have to be careful with what you're moving and where. This 4, this already has a positive index, so it stays. If, for example, we had 3 to the negative 1, y to the minus 9, and we want to make that into all positives, well, we would have 1 on top and the 3y to the 9 on the bottom. So that negative 1 becomes a positive 1 down here, and this negative 9 becomes a positive 9 on the bottom. Similarly, if we just think about it in the opposite way, if we had 1 over x to the minus 2 and we want to make it positive, it would become just x is 2. So we're changing from the bottom to the top, and the negative becomes a positive. Now, if we have, say, 7 over y to the minus 32, we make that positive, the 7 staying on top, and we have y to the positive 32 coming up the top here. But what if it's a wee bit more complicated? What if we say we have 10 over 3a to the negative 19. Now, this 3 is already positive, so we don't need to change it. This 10 is already positive, so we're still going to get 10 over 3, but this a to the negative 19, that's what we're going to move up to make it a positive. So the important thing to remember here is, if we've got something with a negative index and we want to make it positive, we would flip it below and turn it to a positive underneath a fraction. We have to be careful if we have a constant number in front of our base number, whether that's positive or negative. If it's positive, it's going to stay on top. If it's negative, it's going to go down underneath. And oppositely, if we've got a negative fractional index on the bottom and we want to make it a positive, we'd simply bring it up the top and make it positive. And once again, we have to be careful with any constant numbers that are positive or negative. So once again, in this example, we've got a 3 here, which already has a positive index because it's 1. It's not negative 1. If it was negative 1, I would have put down that it's negative 1. So that's why it stayed in the bottom there.